Hey guys, welcome to another video tracking the financial independence journey to 2 million. Today I want to do a little bit of a different video. I want to take a few minutes with you and I want to explain why being a millionaire doesn't feel rich. Why, having a net worth of over $1 million in today's economy, it does not feel rich. So I'm just going to take you through some of the thoughts I have on this because over the last 15 to 20 years I've been investing since 2009 in building up a net worth and a portfolio in stocks and in real estate, and I want to explain to you why coming at about 1.4 million it still feels like when I had $200,000 or $300,000. So the first reason is because net worth isn't cash. It's not necessarily liquid. When you think, wow, $1.4 million net worth, you must be really wealthy, you must be really loaded. Well, the reality is that net worth isn't always liquid. For me, a lot of it's tied up in retirement accounts. They're meant for the future. I can't touch until 59 and a half. Or my home equity, my paid off house. I can't take equity from my house. I mean, I could take equity out of my house at interest, but I'm not going to it's not liquid. I can't just pay cash. I can't just buy groceries with my house equity. So that's the first reason that I can't access a lot of my net worth, because it's tied up in investments, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't need a lot of cash on hand. I don't need a ton of, capital at my disposal. I only need enough in my checking account to make pay for my normal expenses, and then a 6 to 12 month emergency savings in a money market account to get interest on. And that's really actually a good thing, because I don't want to have a lot of cash liquid because of inflation. Cash is cash is losing its value every year at the cost of inflation. If inflation comes in at 4% this year, think about how much the value of the dollar has gone down even since COVID. I mean, look at the price of how everything has gone up. So what I'm doing is I'm taking as much cash as possible and investing in assets, hard assets that are going to beat inflation, that are going to increase in value over time. And what I've done over the past 2 decades is done that in stocks and real estate. And my intention is not to be super rich and, become a multimillionaire. That was never really my goal. My goal was just to invest, and to invest wisely, be a good steward of what I have, to be thankful, be grateful, and use it wisely to build a family, to build a legacy that could impact, the next generation, and so on and so forth. And so it wasn't to look flashy or look rich or anything of that nature. And it certainly doesn't feel rich in today's economy when eggs are $6, $7 for a dozen. That's the first thing. The second thing is, with wealth comes a lot of responsibility. Income can often increase responsibilities. If you have a family, you're like me, I have 4 kids. Raising children is expensive. Those of you who've been following the channel for the past few days, this is, the first week of this tracking this journey. That I mentioned I have kids in private school, which is our biggest expense by far. I mean, it is essentially a mortgage and some. And so investing in the children's education, planning for their college, with a 529 does have tax benefits. Investing in retirement, all of that, it means that you must be responsible and diligent and consistent. And then, of course, giving generously, giving and helping. And then at times, your financial goal is, for me, it's not necessarily to just make more money. It's to be able to take it and invest it in the right places and steward it wisely, and to use it as a tool, and never to love money. That is a huge snare, to become obsessed with money and to idolize it. That's a big danger. But the goal is to use it as a tool and to steward it wisely, to benefit your family and to benefit others, and to it's a tool that it's not supposed to be meant for. You don't want to idolize it in your heart. And the third thing, being a millionaire doesn't mean that you're financially free. I mean, I'm certainly not financially free. I still have costs and obligations and responsibilities that I need to pay for, even though I have a $1 million net worth. And I'm not going to blame that all on the economy and the cost of everything. That's part of it. Part of it is, yes, inflation. Things are very expensive. But the other piece of this, and this is to have long-term investment, long-term thinking, and to invest over the long term, is not to be, a get-rich-quick scheme. I know that may be popular, but this is the slow way to build wealth over time, over decades. And that mindset is important. So becoming a millionaire is just a milestone, really, and it's not the finish line. And so, I mean, I have a goal to hit 2 million, and these are just milestones that there's nothing special about 1 million or nothing special about 2 million. You think, oh, when I hit $1 million, I'm gonna feel different. You don't really feel any different. At least I didn't, and I don't. I still feel like, after college, there's not a lot's changed. I still drive used, paid off cars that are 10 years old. I still wear clothes that I get at Goodwill. Yes, I can go out to eat when I want, and I don't have to worry about money necessarily, or live paycheck to paycheck, and I have that peace of mind. But it's not like I'm going out and buying a yacht. It's not like I have, all this, all this wealth to just go around and spend. That's not the case. So, like I mentioned, net worth 1.4 million now, and doing a lot of consolidation in the accounts, putting everything in one place. Been spending a lot of time doing that. But I wanted to show you that, some people are looking at whatever Donald Trump says, you just buy those stocks. And I think that might work, if you're a trader. It's not something I'm necessarily doing. I do own Eli Lilly, a really small amount of it, and it did go up 6% today because Trump did mention it. In the U.S., oil, looking at macro, it crashed below 70 because of the situation in Iran. But it's actually not whipping the stock market up like it was a couple of weeks ago. And that's interesting that change is taking place. It just shows you that markets are unpredictable, and you can't anticipate that because something worked one day, it's going to work the next day. Like if you were betting that oil was going to cause your portfolio to go up significantly on a big downturn in equities, you thought, you took a long position in equities and you were betting. I think that's not always going to be the case. So what I'm doing in my portfolio is I don't do options, I don't bet, I don't do anything like that. I build around boring ETFs and index funds and mutual funds in the market, growth, added semiconductors, and then I've been building out, the Magnificent Seven I've been doing for many years as satellite positions, and that's how I invest. Housing is very interesting to keep an eye on as well. The housing market is in a situation, I look around, I see houses up for sale everywhere. It almost feels like those 2005, 2006 years. I don't think that's quite the case, but the prices are going negative and houses are sitting longer. That's just what's going on. Houses are just too dang expensive. Outside of that, though, I just wanted to give some insights on, if you're just starting out and you're setting your milestones to reach $1 million and so on. I think now today for me to really be financially free, where I can just not work at all, even though I don't really want to not work, I still want to work, even if it's just part-time. I think that the number has got to be, for my expenses, it's got to be above 2 million and maybe even higher than that. So I'm going to keep going and get to 2 million. And the biggest milestone right now that I'm focused on is building up the brokerage accounts. And we had a late night last night. My son, he had an accident. So hope everyone's doing well out there. If you want to be a part of this journey with me to 2 million, the road to 2 million, appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and thank you for all that you guys do, because either way, I'm going to journey and capture all of this information here on this channel. And so, but this content's for anyone who wants to follow along and tag along. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks.